and welcome to another episode of Give Me Genesis, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast review. And here I am sitting with my good friend Andrew. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, James. How are you?
I am also well. I am operating within normal parameters.
Fantastic. That's really good to hear.
We are reviewing The Next Generation, and this episode is called The Last Outpost. First impressions?
First impressions. I really enjoyed this episode.
Yes?
Yeah, I like it.
I also enjoyed it. It was good to see Ferengi being introduced for the first time.
Sir, the truth is, I gave those words to this human.
We heard them, I think, mentioned before prior.
Oh, really?
I think they were mentioned, like in Encounter at Farpoint at some point.
Right.
The Ferengi would be very interested in a base like this.
Fine. Let's hope they find you as tasty as they did their past associates.
They're not in the original series, are they?
No, they're not. This is the first time we ever heard of them mentioned was Encounter at Farpoint.
Okay.
And this is the episode where first time we will see them. So we meet the Ferengi for the first time.
They've stolen something from...
Yes, that's right.
I can't remember what it was.
I don't know if they did they actually say what it was?
They did. I can't remember what it was. I don't think it's that relevant, though, to the episode.
We're in pursuit of a starship of Ferengi design. Our mission is to intercept and recover a T9 energy converter which the Ferengi stole from an unmanned monitor post on Gamma Tauri 4.
The Enterprise is in pursuit because they steal something from an outpost, I guess.
Yeah.
And we find out the Ferengi virtually have similar level of technology as Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
And they catch up with them at the planet.
Yeah. I don't know why the Ferengi were going to that planet.
Yeah, because no reason.
Yeah.
It's just part of the plot.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, though, that part of the episode, where it's like, why are the Ferengi going there? Sure, if they've nicked something, they're going home or to another outpost or something. But there's no reason for them to go to this planet.
No, there isn't.
Because we see in the episode that any ships that go to this planet get stuck.
Yeah,
in
the power drain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is exactly what happens. So the Enterprise arrives where the Ferengi are.
Yeah.
And then they
both get stuck.
They both get stuck. But they think... they both think it's each other that are causing it. Well, we only see the perspective from the Enterprise when they get the power drain. They think, maybe their technology is a bit more superior than ours.
Yeah,
because we are losing power. They got some kind of weapon.
The Ferengi do shoot something at the Enterprise, but it's not like a torpedo or a phaser or anything. I don't know what it is exactly.
We find out, I think, Troy cannot read minds. She can't read anything that's going on.
Oh, so she can sense emotions.
Exactly, because if she did, then she'd probably go, they're feeling exactly how we feel.
I'm sensing nothing from them, sir. Which could mean they can shield their thoughts and emotions from others.
Then that would ruin the illusion of,
Yes.
It's actually nothing to do with the Ferengi. And we find out they're Yankee traders. We also see a bit of Geordi already showing a few engineering skills. Because obviously he's not in engineering. But I think he pops down to engineering, doesn't he? I think he pops down to engineering to try and see how he can get out of the situation.
Yeah, and him and Riker are chatting. And then Geordi's like, I know where you're going with this. Yeah! If we do this, this, and this, we can get out of here. And he goes up to his engineering buddy and taps him on the shoulders like, yeah, you got this, go for it.
What's our acceleration delay between slow reverse impulse and top warp speed?
Well, that's 0.300 millisecond. There's... I see where you're going. We ship down, then kick hard into warp 9. Yeah, come back fighting. Woo-wee!
Can we do it, Geordi?
Ask me after it's done, sir.
Yeah, so I think that was like the first time we kind of get to see
Geordi doing
something which he should be doing from the very beginning.
Yeah.
He's not the chief engineer. We didn't see the chief engineer in this episode. I know there's quite a few of them we'll probably end up seeing. We've seen one so far, I think. Yeah, which is the lady, the blonde lady.
Yeah.
McDougal.
I think there's a few more coming up. I think in the next episode there's another one.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
cycling through them all.
Yeah, I can't remember how many there are before Geordie ends up
High turnaround means probably a really bad jump working environment.
Exactly, high turnover. Even Wolf, he's not chief of security yet either. So
no.
They still haven't found their footing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what Wolf's role is, to be honest.
Bathing.
I don't know, he kind of sits all over the place. He sometimes sits in Data's chair. He goes
Yeah.
on the back looking.
Jack of all trades, but don't really know what you're doing there.
He's probably just trying to find something to do. I mean, in a horrible way, it kind of helped his character. Obviously, when Yar dies and he's able to take the security role.
Yes.
Gives him more opportunity. So Picard surrenders to the Ferengi.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But the Ferengi are confused because they think the Enterprise is asking them to surrender.
Oh, see.
Yeah.
And then Picard realises, they're in the same predicament as us.
Exactly. He does that thing like, no one can say one day, but...
For those who are listening, James is drawing a line across his neck with his finger to indicate
cut,
death, cut, mute, end, finish.
The line must be drawn here.
So they're now, so they realise they're both in the same predicament, and then I think they go to the conference room. I don't often see this in Star Trek Next Generation, but they've got a 3D image coming up from the table that rotates the planet with the Ferengi and the Enterprise, Ferengi ship and the Enterprise ship. Cool.
Is it? Yeah. This is a funny bit. Just before this, because they were focusing on the Ferengi ship, and then Deanna stands up and says, "Excuse me, Captain, but with all this focus on the Ferengi ship, we haven't even thought about or looked at the planet." Oh, and I was thinking to myself,
what are you doing there anyway?
If they hadn't scripted her to say that, they would be forever thinking it was the Ferengi ship.
Yeah.
So it's a shame they didn't include something that made it a bit more like a reason to look at the planet.
Yeah. I mean...
Like, they could even just say, look, she senses something coming from the planet.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, she senses emotion, so maybe because there's the Guardian down there, so maybe she can sense him, for example. But she just says,
they've ignored the planet. She's
yeah.
actually helpful making that comment compared to the last episode where she said there was no help. She could offer none.
Yeah, exactly. She's been helpful this episode. Well done.
But to be honest, everyone could have told Picard that information, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
That, we should look at the planet. So look at the 3D image.
You've got to remember it came out in the 80s. So when it came out, it was pretty cool. But looking at it today, it's like, that's terrible, isn't it? The graphics are quite dated.
Yeah.
But for its time, it was good.
So the planet's part of the Tkon race?
The Tkon Empire.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah, which actually got destroyed when its star went supernova.
That's it. It died out. That's correct. Well researched.
Yeah, that's all right.
So they work that out, and then they contact the Ferengi again and go, let us both work together to cooperate and investigate this planet.
Oh yeah, and the Ferengi are like, well, what's the profit in us? Yeah. And then Picard says, well, the profit is we both stay alive.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he's like, oh, okay, can't really argue with that.
Yeah. So they beam down. With
the Ferengi are all about profit and trading, which we find out.
Well, they had 3 beam down, and the Enterprise beamed 4 down, I think.
No, they've been 5. There's
5.
Geordie, Riker, Data, Tasha, and Worf.
Okay.
But one thing my wife noticed is that when they're in the transporter room, Geordie is actually only standing partially on the Had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So really, half of him should have materialised down there, and the other half stays on the transporter pad.
He probably couldn't see where he's standing because of those fighters.
Yeah.
Maybe he couldn't see. Literally, the actor couldn't see.
But that could be why he actually materialised upside down. He did.
So, yeah.
With his feet stuck in the rock.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we obviously learn it's actually not.
One thing that's interesting though, so they all beam down and they all like split up because of the atmosphere and all that. Yeah. And so they have to spend time finding each other. The Ferengi just turn up all together.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd have thought they would also have to spend time searching for each other, so they wouldn't already be in their pack.
Exactly. Seems to be unfair. So yeah, you see, and even Riker's saying, "Hello, anybody?"
I love that bit.
And it zooms out into this really bad CGI or whatever it is, cloud. But yeah, I mean, even the sets, you can tell that's like the original series type set as well.
Oh yes, yeah.
You can see it's just, I think early Next Generation they didn't really film on location as much.
Yeah, they've just filmed it inside somewhere.
Yeah. So they got displaced by these weird crystal things. I think we find that out. I can't remember.
Yeah, they absorb energy.
Exactly.
But here's another flaw in this episode, which I do like this episode, but apart from flaws. When the Ferengi first attack, their weapons were working and they hit the Federation people.
They do, yes.
Yeah. But later on, they don't work. And all the energy from the weapons goes into the crystals. Like, hold on a minute.
Yeah. But it also helped because the Ferengi, when they fire their weapon, it got Geordie out of being stuck.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't know how that went.
It's like got loose from being hanging upside down. Yeah. It was a bit weird. I don't think we ever see those weapons again.
No.
But it looked a bit weird because when they fire that weapon and it went straight. But,
and you probably know why, but I like the fact that the Ferengi were so different in this. Because typically...
What different?
Typically aliens in science fiction in general are
very
just
human
people dressed up. Because that's probably one of the cheapest ways to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe. But here they're obviously a lot shorter. And
their mannerisms.
watch all their mannerisms. They're really weird. And when they go to take the combat, you can see the hand is like very, and then they've got those whip weapons. So, like in one sense, I'm thinking that's really cool that this race are actually quite different. But then as you go on through Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and the others, they end up just being just a
bit more
westernized,
kind of toned down version of that.
Yeah.
Did you know Quark's in this episode?
Yeah. He's Armin Shimmerman. He's one of the ones on the planet. EJ, my wife, said, this is Quark's origin story.
Yeah.
And later on, you'll be a barman, not getting any profit.
Exactly. Yes, they incapacitate the crew. They've taken the communicators, and we find out they're made from gold. Interesting fact.
Oh, yes.
I think we also learn about Ferengi that the women do not wear clothes.
That's right.
We learn.
Yeah, when they saw Tasha Yar, they're like, "Oh, you shamelessly clothe your females and give them work to do." Oh, they're hilarious. That's so funny.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Get away from me, you little runt!"
Did she kick the dirt?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then Riker then says to her, "At ease, Lieutenant."
Hands up, Ferengi.
No female human or Ferengi can order more dark around. Submit.
Just try it, Shorty.
At ease, Lieutenant.
Yeah.
And then
he's annoyed again.
And then my wife rightly pointed out, well, hold on a minute. She's actually being harassed.
Yeah.
And you're telling her off.
He's not really PC, is he?
No.
Oh, yeah, another thing we find about a wolf, we learn that he hates Ferengi.
That's
Ferengi
funny.
starts.
That fight I love that fight scene. You got Data holding one up in one hand, just in the air, and the Ferengi's just like kicking and screaming, can't do anything. And Worf's got two clambering on him, and he's trying to fight them off like there's some like 10-year-olds that were attacking him. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And then Worf's getting beaten up.
He's always getting beaten up. Right?
He is. It's really bad.
He's always getting beaten up. I don't know how that prosthetic makeup remains on his face after getting beaten up so much. So there's a power drain on the Enterprise and continues, and life support starts to fail.
Oh yeah, they're all handing out blankets because it's really cold. But Deanna Troi thinks, well, it is really cold, but I don't need to put any extra clothes on. So she carries on in her open cut dress or clothing.
The like, draft must be getting through, sure.
Yeah, and standing next to her is Beverly Crusher in her blue gown, all wrapped up. Although, having said that, she's half Beta Z, so maybe the Beta Z don't feel the cold as much.
Yeah, we could always say that.
Who knows?
We could always make that.
We'd have to look at Beta Z in all the other episodes to see.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably like another episode where it's the opposite. She's wearing loads of clothes and everyone else is
the Evolution episode.
Oh yeah,
is it called Evolution or Devolution or?
I think it is called that. No, it's called. It's called Genesis.
Oh, it's called Genesis, isn't it?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, and she turns into this like frog kind of thing.
I remember that one. That's good.
Yeah, because in that,
hopefully we get to that episode because that's a long, long way off.
Is it
season 7?
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, we've got quite a while to get to that one.
Oh yeah, then the dude turns up, the Guardian.
The Guardian's portal appears, and then this guy appears who looks like he's wearing makeup to make him look old.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, can't you just hire a guy who is old?
Yeah.
Rather than this unknown actor. I don't know if it's supposed to be someone's unique or not. I don't know, but it's a guy who's got prosthetic makeup on to make him look old.
Oh, that was quite fun. I liked it.
Well, the makeup. You think there'd be alien makeup or something, but it's not. It's just,
Yeah.
Well,
and his staff as well.
Yeah, and they like do that. He shows off his skills, but they kind of like fast forward the frame rate slightly more to make him look like he's moving quickly, which I thought was quite funny as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like the last. He's the guardian of the last outpost. That's why it's called the last outpost.
Yeah.
So he's like protecting a race that doesn't exist, or an empire that doesn't exist anymore.
Yes, but you find out they can actually read their minds.
Oh,
yeah, because he says to Riker some kind of quote from, who was that ancient Chinese philosopher who did The Art of War? Can't remember what his name is.
I think it's mentioned earlier in the episode, isn't it, as well? That's why I said it.
Riker says, fear is the only enemy.
You are facing fate with composure. But what is the answer to my challenge?
Fear is the true enemy. The only enemy.
Yes.
And then the Guardian says, oh yes, you're right. I can read many other thoughts from your mind, and you have to tell me more about this philosopher. But he also mentions how it's, for the Ferengi, their minds are very closed and very almost basic, I guess. So we can read people's thoughts. But I do, I think for me, the reason I like this episode, and I wish they'd done something else with it as well, is that I like the idea that there's this Guardian who's still there for a race that no longer exists, but were like really, really powerful in their time. And you got to think, if this one Guardian has got all this power, the planet itself absorbs energy, so any ships coming in will just get drained. He himself can appear and disappear, and can swing his staff at higher frame rates.
You only just see this gatekeeper guy, but you don't know anything about what they're like, apart from having really bad prosthetics
Yes.
to be made looking old.
But I guess, like the beta said, they can read minds, read people's thoughts. Oh, actually, well, I don't know, actually. Because they do read minds, but I think they're better than beta sets, because I think beta sets read people's thoughts.
Feelings.
And feelings.
Yeah.
But with this guy, he knew
mind.
more information from the mind rather than just what you're thinking.
More like a Vulcan mind meld type.
But not as deep and penetrating as that.
I find that remark insulting.
Okay.
More like information.
Yeah.
Without interfering with that person's mental ability.
Or emotions, in a way, I guess. Yeah.
I also like the unknown history. You know, they've got some information about the Tkon Empire, but because it's all completely wiped out, their knowledge of it is very limited. So, I don't know, I find it quite interesting and fascinating that there was this once very powerful empire that is now no longer there.
And we don't really hear about it ever again.
Yeah. See, it would be good to make reference to it in future episodes.
Yeah.
Because if there was such a powerful empire...
You would think there would be some...
They would have gone beyond their own solar system.
Yeah, you would see the impacts, potentially.
They'd have had cultural impact, military impact.
But it just reminded me of another empire, one where they create a portal, a gate.
Is it the Iconian?
Yes, the
Gateway
Iconians,
or something?
Yeah, where the gates keep changing from different dimensions.
Yeah, yes.
I think that's like season 2 episode. This is a good one.
Okay.
Where they discover their technology.
Oh, yeah. And the place is all being destroyed and he's got to try and get the doorway back onto the bridge.
That's right, yeah. They're kind of similar, but they were more seen as a myth. Yeah, I thought it was an okay episode, you know. I mean, if I've only watched 4 episodes of The Next Generation out of the 4 we've watched, if they're the only episodes I've ever seen in my life, I would say it was probably better than Code of Honor.
They don't stick with the Ferengi, though, like that, do they?
I'm glad they don't keep the Ferengi. I mean, to be honest, Ferengi, for me, are not my favourite race.
Okay.
I think they got better when Deep Space Nine took them. Because I think
they gave them more story.
Yeah, backgrounds.
You
know.
Introduced the rules of acquisition and
the
whole race more, and you get to go to Ferengi now as well.
Exactly. They did a few Ferengi episodes.
Yeah.
I don't think all of them were good. Some of them were bad. There was one Ferengi episode I thought was really good when they had to go to Terek Nor and rescue their mother, and they get a team together.
Yeah.
And they want to exchange one of the
the Vorta.
One of the Vorta, yeah, they captured in a previous episode.
Oh, yeah.
And they want to exchange.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah.
So at the end of the Last Outpost, they all get set free.
Yes.
The Federation I think they get the stuff back.
I think they said, should I destroy the Ferengi? Yeah. The Guardian asked for, should I destroy the Ferengi? No, how would they learn?
Yes. And then he says, very interesting.
Yes. So I think he lets them go as well.
Yeah.
Apparently you have to look at the sky, to make this work.
And we learn that the Guardian's got control over that energy device.
With the trees, crystalline trees.
Yeah, because Mike asked him, "Look, can you let our ship go?" He pauses. I think he looks up and says, "Your ship is free."
Yeah.
And then all the lights come back on the airplanes. And everybody's happy.
And then they go on to the next mission.
Yeah, with no mention of this previous mission.
Yeah.
As if it never happened.
Well, thank you.
The Last Outpost.
And we'll be back again
with another exciting episode of
Give Me Genesis. And we'll be reviewing Where No One Has Gone Before. Take care.